You can't lose something you never had, right? That was something that a very wise client of mine said today. This is a new client that started therapy, and we were going through, what is it you want to work on? And she said, I want to find myself. I've lost myself. And then she paused and she goes, how could I lose myself when I never really knew who I was? Do you know who you are? Have you grown into the version of who you are now? Because you may have an identity of who you used to be, perhaps as a teenager, or perhaps in your 20s, or perhaps in your 30s, right? Or 40s, 50s, whatever it is, right? And also the version of you that you strove to be, you worked on becoming a version based on someone else's expectations and ideas of what that ideal you was or should be. So you check the boxes in terms of going to the right schools or finishing up certain careers and, whatever have you. And now that you are where you are, you've grown, you're evolving, right? So many of us are on our healing journeys for the first time. And I just love this time in our world where we are waking up collectively and we are healing and we are growing and we are evolving. And now it's becoming, okay to now grow and heal. And so now my question to you is, this version of you, who are you? Who is this, in my case, 51 version of Anita, who is very different from the one I was a year ago? Life was very different a year ago, right? So my invitation to you is to really start to ask yourself, who am I? And what is it that brings me joy? When you find yourself in a place where you are in conflict with yourself, and that usually happens when someone has said something, or you find yourself in a way where you're like, I think I believe this, but I'm not really happy with that decision. That's an opportunity. That's a trigger. That's an opportunity for you to pause and you to reflect and you to question, is this something that I believe, or is this something I've accepted as truth based on my upbringing? And the question I will ask my clients is, whose voice do you hear in your head telling you that this was how it needed to be? And 9 out of 10 times they will pause and they'll stop and they'll think about it and they'll say something like, my mother or my grandmother or what have you, right? So I invite you, this journey of finding yourself. It's exciting, but be kind to yourself and give yourself permission to redefine yourself. That's the whole joy of life anyways. And that really is the whole point of this journey.